Hi, my name is Kyle. I'm the founder here at HireUA, and here are 10 ways that you can use a high-level executive assistant in order to improve your business, streamline your processes, and overall make your life easier. Now, first and foremost, it's extremely important to note there's a large difference between an executive assistant and a virtual assistant. So all the time I hear, I need a virtual assistant. People say this when they don't know what they need. And so virtual assistant's a very, very, very broad term. It could mean you need someone doing admin work. It could mean you need someone doing social media, making graphics. It could mean just answering emails, customer support. It's a very broad term, and generally people who don't know what they actually want to hire for are the ones who use this term. So figure out if you need a virtual assistant or if you need an executive assistant. There is a large difference between the two. An executive assistant, much higher level. This is someone who's going to be trusted to speak for you in your business, someone who's going to be trusted to respond to people, someone who is basically going to be your right hand. If you're not a business with at least probably 5-10 employees or more, you're not looking for an executive assistant. You're looking for a virtual assistant. Like I said, there is a very large difference between the two. The first reason that an executive assistant could help you out is that they are dedicated to you and only you. So it's very empowering as a business owner when you know that instead of everybody else in your business who always comes to you all the time, I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So you've got a team, they're always coming to you, every question has to run through you, every response to a client has to run through you. It's extremely draining, it's extremely tiring. The executive assistant is the shield between you and everybody else in the business. That includes your own employees. I like to say that instead of you having to sit in front of everybody with a fire extinguisher all the time, instead that executive assistant is standing in front of you with a fire extinguisher. Their entire job is you. Their entire job is to protect your time. Their entire job is to make your life easier. Their entire job is to take the stress of running the business off of you. It's extremely powerful if it's done right. But like I said, a lot of people are not necessarily in a position where you can do something like that. Number 2, project management. So even the best business owners are always getting sidetracked by an issue here, an issue there. Client needs this, employee needs that. It's very, very difficult to stay on task and actually drive the projects to completion. It gets very difficult to actually have the time to do the deep work to get those projects done. With all those issues that always arise, it's always good to have an executive assistant who can block off the time, make sure that you are protected, and actually help you with those projects. So a good example of this is that I have obviously an executive assistant. Her name is Victoria. I wanted my personal website done. Instead of me having to go through and find a designer and then find a developer with Webflow, I said, Victoria, I want this project done. This is the day I would like it to be complete. She went, she found the people, she engaged them. She said, comes to me and says, hey, Kyle, this is the price. This is when it'll be done. Great. Okay, when can it be done? Perfect. We agree on a deadline? That's that. The third reason that you could use an executive assistant is that they get you the meetings that you need. So as a business owner, when you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with employees, you need to talk to people. And then it becomes extremely time consuming, extremely taxing when you have to go and say, hey, so-and-so, do you have time at this day to talk? No, I don't. Okay, so how about this day? You go back and forth. Some people don't like to use Calendly. They don't like to use schedulers. They want to do everything manually. So it's a lot easier when you have someone who's, again, dedicated to you, who you say, hey, I need a meeting with so-and-so. They have access to your calendar. They are authorized to speak for you. They say, okay, great. It's fantastic. All they do is you say, I need a meeting with so-and-so. They go and get you the meeting. They report back. The meeting with so-and-so is at this day and this time. The fourth reason that you could use an executive assistant in your business is because they take the notes that you wish you had, right? If you're on a sales call, you're with a client, you're a team meeting, you want to kind of be in the moment. You want to be actually speaking to them, not sitting there taking notes. So a good executive assistant will take the notes, they'll make note of the key points, they'll figure out any red flags, any major issues. They'll have all that for you so that you can be present in the moment on those meetings where you're closing deals or you're dealing with your employees, which allows you to, focus on the bigger picture of your business. Number 5, they take care of the boring stuff. So I don't know anyone who went into business so that they could do paperwork, but the reality is most of us as business owners end up doing a lot of paperwork, a lot of forms, a lot of nonsense. None of us like doing it, but it's just part of the job. A good executive assistant will take a lot of that off your plate so that you can focus on the big picture stuff in your business. So you're not sitting there worrying about paperwork. They will handle the small details for you. So you can think bigger picture instead of worrying about all the little minute details. So the 6th reason an executive assistant could be useful for your business is because they streamline the information. So if you've got a team of say 10 people and they all report to you, that means they're all coming to you with every little issue. And some of it's critical and some of it's not. But if they have nowhere else to go, it's going to come to you. And of course, you can always put processes in place that will help, allow people to think independently and allow them to solve the problems on their own. But sometimes there's still issues that come up that only you can deal with. So like I said, your executive assistant, they're the person with the fire extinguisher in front of you, instead of you having to be the firefighter all the time. They're the one holding the extinguisher, putting out the fires. What I mean is that instead of all of it flowing to you, it's streamlined. It's you wake up, hey, here are the issues of today. Here are the most important ones. I need you to make a decision on this so that I can go and have the person who came to me with the issue execute on it. So when you have all that in a streamlined information, instead of having to put it all and process all of it in different ways, when you have it all in one place, it makes it so much easier to, one, make decisions. Decision fatigue is a major thing as a business owner. And it's not so much making the decisions themselves, it's having to figure out all the information before you make that decision. So when it's all streamlined to you by one person and they say, this is the story, I've asked all the questions, this is all the information you need to make this decision, it takes the majority of all of that off of you, because then you just have all the information, you get to make the decision. But having to figure out if you're making the right decision because you don't have all the info to begin with, that's the real grunt. And that's what a good executive assistant will take off your plate. The seventh reason a good executive assistant will make your life easier is because they handle the logistics. Business owners, you have to travel, you have to go to meetings, you have to do this, you have to do that. Having to figure out the best flights with your schedule, the best hotels in the area, whatever it might be, if you have someone that just handles all that for you, it makes things a little bit easier. Like I said, decision overload, decision fatigue, it's a major problem for business owners. It's very responsible for a lot of the burnout that you see with people that are running their own companies. So if you've got someone who comes to you and says, hey, you have to go on this trip at this time, here are your 3 hotel options, these are the prices, here you go, great. Here's the flight options. This one has this layover, this one has that layover, this one is early, you might be really tired, this one's a red eye, what's best for you? Okay, great, I'll take care of it. All those little decisions, you've now basically outsourced. You've outsourced all the research. All you have to do is take the options that were presented and decide. Makes it a lot easier when you have someone who is handling all those logistics for you. Number 8 on the list of why you might need an executive assistant is that they will streamline the processes in your business for you. And they can do this by a couple of ways. Number 1, it's a cycle, right? A lot of business owners, they start a company, they start seeing some success, they hire their first employees. And what happens is they go round and round in this little cycle because they're so busy with clients or with the actual work that the company provides that they're then not able to build the systems to handle that. It's a cycle. A lot of new business owners, sales outreach, busy with clients, fulfilling clients. Oh God, I finally finished it all, back to sales and outreach. So instead of building those processes, you're constantly in the weeds actually doing the processes. So a good executive assistant will, one, either build the processes for you because they're that good and they understand business. So they can go and say from the outside, okay, here's the issues with fulfillment, whatever it might be. Let's do this, this, and this so that we don't have these issues anymore. Alternatively, they can also free up your time. So they can be the person, like I said, they streamline all the information, all the crises, all the problems. Instead of you having to be in the business all day, solving the problems, instead they're all presented to you. You go, you give people your marching orders, and then that allows you to have the deep work time in order to actually build the business processes so that you don't have to constantly be in the weeds doing it. Number 9, they are a sounding board for you, and they are someone who just gets you. So this is kind of important. I talked before that all your employees, they all come to you because they all have a function within your company to do a task. And if they can't do that task, they come to you. It's very different when someone's job is you. So a good EA is going to be your sounding board, able to keep you on track, able to talk to you about difficult things and really just kind of steer you in the right direction. They're going to be a right hand. They're going to be a sounding board. It'll be someone you work with very closely on a day-to-day basis. It's going to be extremely important that you get along well, that you get each other. I know that sounds obviously a little bit more personal, but it is important that you just get the person, that they get you, and that's their job, is to get you. It's very, very important. And finally, the 10th reason that an executive assistant might help you in your business is that they just keep you on track. Many business owners, bright, eccentric, driven people, and sometimes it's this fine line where you're so into things that you don't stop and you don't enjoy it, or you let things get out of hand, you push a little too hard. So they're gonna keep you on track. They're gonna say, hey, you're reaching your limits here. You need to find someone to do this instead of you doing it. You need to build this process so that you're not in the weeds. There's a lot of different ways that they can guide you, and that when they're able to step back and look at you, That's how you know you're really doing well with that person, right? Is they're able to actually think for you, they're able to speak for you, they're able to make decisions for you, they know what information you need to run your business, they know what is critical and what is not. All of this will help you stay on track and grow your business, which is ultimately what we all get in business for to begin with. So in summary, the 10 reasons that you could use an executive assistant in your business. Number one, they are dedicated to you and you only, and that is a really cool feeling when you get an executive assistant for the first time. Like, it's something that you just don't get until you actually have it in your business. You're like, oh wow, this person is like for me. Number two, project management. Number three, they go and get the meetings that you need instead of you having to hunt down, which when you start evaluating your time on how long you spend scheduling stuff, you start to realize it is really not a high ROI activity. Number four, they take the notes that you wish you had so that you can be present on meetings, present on sales calls, whatever else it is that you actually want to focus on. They're taking the notes so that you don't have to. Number five, they take care of all the boring stuff, and there is a lot of boring stuff in business that the business owners, like me, we don't want to do it. Number six, they streamline the information so that you do not get decision fatigue. Extremely powerful. Again, it's one of those things you don't realize until you start having someone in your business to do this. Number seven, they handle the logistics for you. Number eight, they build the systems that they know that you need. Number nine, they are your sounding board. They are the person that is going to be most honest with you. They're going to work the closest with you, and they are going to get to know you as a person, how you like to work, and ultimately how you need to work in order to drive your company forward. The final reason is because they keep you on track, which is incredibly important as a business owner. Like I said, we're all eccentric, driven people. It is really helpful when you have someone who says, hey, you need to figure this out before you go on to the next thing. So anyways, that's the 10 reasons why an executive assistant could be useful for your business. There'll be lots more videos coming, so make sure that you hit like and subscribe below. Again, I want to emphasize that executive assistant, virtual assistant, not the same thing. This is a video for someone who has at least probably 5 employees in their business and is feeling extremely strapped for time. That said, HireUA.com, we've got a whole bunch of high-level executive assistants as well as virtual assistants who can take other smaller tasks off of you, such as social media management, such as customer support, admin, data entry. Go to hire-ua.com, book a call with my sales team, and we will be sure to take care of you. Looking forward to it.